I am a mostly retail Andy, and with the new Scarlet Enclave raid coming out, I wanted to try my hand out at it. Now I have played some Season of Discovery before on this rogue, and partially a warrior a bit before Next came out, but I only really did a few endgame dungeons and half a Molten Core. I wanted a fresh start on a new class, with the end goal of conquering the Scarlet Enclave. So join me as I level to 60 on Blerdsterm in World of Warcraft Season of Discovery. I start with fixing up the UI and turning off rested XP so I can create my own adventure. I pick up a couple quests, then loot some wolves for copper so I can start buying my runes from the rune broker, a change which I massively appreciate as a newer player to Season of Discovery. I did play when it released, but only to about level 16 or so. I had more retail priorities back then. Back when I leveled my rogue before Next came out, I did it mostly with my brother who was playing a warlock, and I remember some runes being crazy powerful while leveling, like Haunt and Unstable Affliction. Though I can't equip any yet, as the starting gear can't have runes applied to them, so I'll have to quest and find greys to really get going. But with only the first 2 quests done, I'm already level 4, when normally you'd leave Northshire Valley at level 5, thanks to Discover's Delight buff, which I personally really enjoy the pace of. I'm currently leveling a warrior on Anniversary Realms, and while it's fun, it can be a slog. While defeating some kobolds, I come across my first grey cloth braces, which is important as now I can equip the Unstable Affliction rune, which does an insane amount of damage, enabling me to pull like a maniac. I finish the kobold quests and make my way to the Defias Bandits, now at level 6, flying in levels. I pick up the tome needed to summon my imp, and I'm excited to see the name which my imp has. Yeah, I'll just pretend the L is silent. That's a pretty good name. I head to Garrick Padfoot, and as I'm casting a rogue, snipes him. But that's okay. While I await his respawn, I can slaughter a whole gang of these thugs with ease. While doing so, I pick up a belt, enabling the Invocation rune, which makes it so when I apply a doubt spell, it instantly does a tick of damage. With that, my questing in Northshire comes to a close as I make my way to Goldshire at a big ol' level 7. I clear out the kobolds in the Fargo Deep Mine, and I get low sometimes, but I remain confident in my abilities. I start killing some boars in the fields as well, as you can get the 4 chunks of boar meat prematurely in order to instantly hand in the Pie for Billy quest later. I did mess up my order of quests a little bit, having to go back to the mines for Goldtooth, but I think no biggie, I'm overpowered, I'll just zerg through it. And my overconfidence actually leads me to my first death at only level 9. Regardless, Cusco and I take down Goldtooth for Bernice's necklace. Coming back to Goldshire, handing in the quests, we hit level 10, and I spec into Affliction as I believe that's what I want to do while leveling, mass pulling with heavy hitting dots and drain life abilities. I can also begin the level 10 Warlock quest for the Voidwalker pet. While running to Stormwind, I see these massive runes with undead hanging around them. I have no idea what that's about. I assume something to do with the next Rammus phase, but I shortly after get a quest to kill some, so I thought, why not? Turns out that didn't really lead to anything, just some free XP. I make my way to the east side of Elwyn to finish up a couple quests before Westfall, as well as picking up the Lakeshire flight point to save time later. On this farm here are some normally dangerous enemies like the Collector and Princess, but due to my level and the runes, it's very easy. I finish what I want on the east side and make my way to Westfall, and on the way I want to take down Hogger. It takes me a while to find him, but I do eventually, and he actually almost takes me down. Even with these crazy runes, there is still danger. Heading into Westfall is actually, I think, a highlight zone of classic WoW. Good music, quests, ambience, and the leveling speed is pretty good too. Normally I'm a Horde player, but I've been trying Alliance on Classic recently, and zones like Westfall, Redridge, and Duskwood are very good zones, and a welcome change from being stuck in the Barrens for like 12 levels on Horde. Questing in Westfall, overconfidence takes me again as a Gore Tusk takes me down, which isn't the last time this happens. I head to Sentinel Hill and fly back to Stormwind to hand in some quests, including my Voidwalker, which in doing so I ding level 13. Back to Westfall, and oh my god, these Harvest Watchers hurt, man. The very first one I fight kills me. That's crazy. And it happens again on the second Watcher. I have to be much more careful with these Harvest Watchers, they shred me. Killing a young Gore Tusk, I find my first cape, which allows me to equip Soul Siphon, empowering my drain spells. I also find this Explorer imp, and even when writing this script, I still have no idea what it does. I'll have to Google search, but I wanted to try and see for myself what it does. I finished the rounds in Westfall, killing watchers, looting animals for food, and culling the numbers of the Defias and Gnolls. After handing in all my quests, I ding level 17, and finally get a replacement for my level 1 starting robe. But I decided to turn in for the night, as it is very late. Tomorrow will be time for Dead Mines, and hopefully, Black Fathom Depths. New day, and I immediately think of Dead Mines, which I'll cut straight to. There's a lot of running around prior, which isn't very interesting. Now, the best thing I can get from here is the Emberstone Staff from Captain Greenskin. With my group formed, we head into Dead Mines, but we actually get to do the Undead Miners quests outside the instance, which I almost never get to do, either because my group doesn't want to, or it's too populated, so that's some nice XP. I decide to try some different runes for this dungeon, using Shadowbolt Volley and Velguard for their AoE capabilities. And yeah, wow. The Shadowbolt Volley rune is great, it does so much damage, and listen to this. Satisfying. Now, onto the bosses and loot. Raxor drops nothing. Sneed drops some cloth gloves with strength and intellect, which are an upgrade for me. Gilnid unfortunately does not drop the ring I was after with the intellect, just some pants nobody needed. Mr. Smite actually drops the hammer, which is a big upgrade for our Ret Paladin. Cookie drops the mace, which nobody needs. He could have dropped a wand, but no biggie. And as we make our way up to the giant ship, we come to Captain Greenskin, the boss who can drop that staff, which is even better than the one completing the Edwin Van Cleef quest would give. So I cross my fingers, and bam! There it is. Also, I may have purposely crafted this group so nobody else could use staves. Straight onto Edwin, and he drops the Cruel Barb for our rogue, which is a crazy good weapon, so congrats to them. We circle back round to finish the undead quests, and with all that done, we ended Dead Mines at level 18 and left at level 21. That is very impressive for Classic. Thank you, Discoverer's Delight. I then don't have much time to play for the rest of the day, so no Black Fathom Depths. But I decide to head to Meadowville Harbour to pick up that flight point. Now, you can run through Lochmadan and wetlands, but I do the over Ironforge skip. There's plenty of guides on YouTube on how to do it, and even better ways to do in hardcore mode, but I'll leave my way in case you didn't know. From here, I can venture to Theramore, and from there to the Barrens to start my quests for the Incubus and Succubus pets, which require me to go to Ashenvale. I've played Classic a fair bit, but the amount of running always surprises me. But instead of running all the way to Ashenvale, I decide to take the boat from Meadowville Harbour again to Orbadine, so that I can pick up some quests to do on the way down to Ashenvale. I get the flight point in Astronaut and try to fly to Orbadine, but it doesn't work, and at this point, I'm very confused. What? How is Astronaut not connected to fucking Orbadine? Turns out, I ran all the way back and I never picked up the Orbadine flight point. Yeah. But, after my time in the Night Island areas, I head to Redridge to get to level 25 and start forming a group for Black Fathom Depths. It starts slow at first, but a while later a surge of players come applying so we can get started. We're in and I'm keen. I'm going to try a couple different rune builds and see how I like the rotations and damage. Alright. First boss is Baron Aquinas. He has a couple mechanics to drop you in the water, but that's it. Blue Eye is nothing for us, but plenty of bosses to go. Gamu Ra Time. He puts out these orbs which hurt you if you touch them, and a knockback, so you need to check positioning. Nothing from this boss either, but 2 male pieces for those that use them. Lady Saraves next, and to be honest, I don't really know what this boss does besides damage. We kinda just killed it. and more male stuff drops. Now, what I'm hoping for is the staff from Twilight Lord Kelris, which I'd keep for a really long time. Galahast the Murloc now, and here you need to not touch anything that's purple, whether it's moving or not. I know there's some safe spots with the Murlocs, but I don't know them, so I end up almost carking it. For loot, a nice cloth chest drops, but we have a few who'd want it, so unfortunately I don't win it as I roll a big old 2. Next boss, Lorgus Jet, and he drops these totems that you need to focus down, which we don't do too well besides the lightning totem, which does get exploded. Nothing from him though. But now comes the boss I've been waiting for. Range need to stack to avoid flooding the room with purple, and ads should be killed by those put to sleep. Once he gets low, he enrages and is no longer interruptible, so it's just a DPS race. We do it with only 1 death, and no staff drop. But 2 cast items which I actually win both of, so I'll take that, not bad. Finally, we engage Akumai. Simple boss really, just avoid the frontals as far as I know. Nothing we need though besides the quest item, which we do not win. Maybe next time. But yeah, that's Black Fathom Depths. Pretty fun really, nice way to get some big items to last you a while leveling. And it got us about 2 levels. From there I call it a night, and I look forward to my next adventure into Gnomeregan.